Something you long believed to be true but realized wasn't.
Well, as one of the main opponents of the Illuminati, I always wanted to know what information they had that we didn't.
Now we finally have an update on the drowning death of Malcolm-Jamal Warner. Now, according to ABC7, they stated that Malcolm-Jamal Warner had drowned while he was on vacation in Costa Rica. Now, the article goes on to say that Warner had drowned off the coast of Costa Rica on Sunday.
Life, it's fragile, and in the blink of an eye,
You never know.
you never know. So speaking of legacy, what do you hope that your legacy is going to be?
There is part of me that I will be able to leave this earth, knowing and people knowing that I was a good person.
Did you guys hear what Katt Williams just confirmed? Oh, it's wild, like Goosebumps level wild. So listen to this. Katt has been talking for years about how Hollywood treats black men who don't play the game. You know what I mean? If you don't dance to their tune, they will erase you. And when you look at what happened to Malcolm-Jamal Warner, it hits different now. Like, it all starts to make scary sense. Let's talk about Malcolm for a sec. He didn't run after the fame, didn't sell out. He wasn't about that clownery. No dresses, no wigs, no acting the fool. He turned down roles that made black men look ridiculous. And you know what happened? They pushed him out. Not because he wasn't good, because he was amazing, but because he wouldn't play along. He didn't kiss up to the system. And now that he's gone, suddenly everyone's calling him a legend and saying he was underrated. Oh, please, where were all these people when he was alive? Where was all this love when Malcolm was doing real work, powerful work, on his terms? And this isn't one of those conspiracy clickbait things. This is a pattern. Katt Williams has been saying this forever, that the moment you say no to Hollywood's game, they blacklist you. And suddenly, this whole thing with Malcolm just fits. So let's break it all down. What Katt's been screaming about, what Malcolm actually stood for, and why everyone wants to praise him now when he can't even respond.
Because I've spent, so much of the early part of my life listening to, like, being celebrated on one hand, but paying way too much attention to the naysayers.
Malcolm-Jamal Warner, best known for his role. And y'all, this part hurts. Malcolm-Jamal Warner, our beloved Theo from The Cosby Show, passed away suddenly, July 20th, 2025. He was just trying to have a normal vacation in Lyman, Costa Rica with his daughter. Imagine this, swimming in the ocean with your 8-year-old living in paradise, and then, out of nowhere, a rip current grabs them. That beach is known for dangerous waters, and guess what? No lifeguards. They had moved them to other beaches because of earlier incidents.
These are the first things we saw when we pulled up to the beach. Signs in Spanish and English warning people about potentially hazardous conditions. This sign even giving a roadmap for how to escape a rip current.
There were surfers nearby who saw them struggling. One managed to save Malcolm's daughter. Another tried to save Malcolm, but it was too late. By the time the first responders got there, Malcolm couldn't be revived. He drowned. The autopsy confirmed it. Accidental death by submersion. And the man who tried to help him, he ended up in critical condition at the hospital.
Rican Beach, where officials say a dangerous rip current swept away Malcolm-Jamal Warner. The Cosby Show star drowning in secluded paradise on Sunday.
What makes that beach so treacherous?
It's similar to other beaches where there are strong rip currents that are deceiving.
Mike Geist helps run a volunteer lifeguard organization here. He says while no lifeguards were on duty that day, Geist's friend, who happens to be a trained lifeguard, was there to surf and discovered Warner unresponsive in the water. Costa Rica's Red Cross says they were able to rescue another man alive who was taken to a clinic in critical condition.
Rica, Jesse, officials say Warner's autopsy is now complete.
It was completed this morning, according to authorities, Tom, and they say that it confirmed that Warner's drowning death was in fact an accident.
It's just devastating. Malcolm wasn't just a former child star. He was one of the rare ones who stayed grounded, who didn't lose himself. He stayed out of trouble. He built himself up. He's self-made multimillionaire, Emmy-nominated actor, Grammy-winning musician, poet, director, social activist. And can we talk about how he was married once? No divorces, no scandals, a loving father, no baby mama drama. That kind of integrity is rare in any industry, but especially in Hollywood.
Even before conception, we were very clear with him. And I knew that I needed a girl first to kind of ease me into it, because I have a pretty good idea of what kind of father I would be. So I needed a girl to kind of, slow me down and warm, soften me up, if you will. So for me, raising my daughter, I came into fatherhood already with a certain maturity and certain understanding of male-female dynamics. And with a girl, all of that starts with the father. So I've always, since I literally pulled her out of my wife.
Malcolm was beloved, and his peers loved him, genuinely. Anyone who ever worked with Malcolm had nothing but praise. He was a man's man, secure, calm, real. So to lose someone like that suddenly at 54, while he's just enjoying life with his family in paradise, it's heartbreaking. But what's even sadder is how the industry treated him while he was alive. Let's be real, Malcolm didn't fall off. He just didn't sell out. After The Cosby Show, he could have gone huge. Big network comedies, big dumb movies, slapstick roles. But nah, he chose a different path. He said no to anything that made black men look foolish. No to dresses, no to loud buffoonery, no stereotypes. He wanted to be real. He wanted to show black men with depth. And that's exactly what Katt Williams has been calling out for years. Katt has been yelling from the rooftops about how black entertainers get boxed in. You want success? You better play your part. Be loud, be silly, put on the costume, act the fool.
Some of us make choices. I think it's not a biggest choice for others. I'm saying, at the end of the day, Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress-wearing people before him. So now we have Big Mama's house 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. I've never seen Medea in a pantsuit. I think she wears dresses. So now I'm saying, why are we picking on poor little Kevin Hart? Because it was his turn next. Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them. Nobody likes them. End quote.
We all love Dave Chappelle.
Exactly. Dave Chappelle has never been a part of the Illuminati. They don't want him or me or people like us.
And Katt turned down those same roles. And guess what? Katt said no to all that too. He turned down those same roles, the ones that would have paid, sure. But at what cost? Fat suits, goofy wigs, all that demeaning stuff. And what did they call him? Difficult, crazy, unstable. The media painted him as wild because he wouldn't comply.
There has never been a person that has been parodied 9 times on Saturday Night Live and yet never been invited other than me. I, at this point, take it as a badge of honor that they don't fuck with me. A lot of times when people are doing an impression of you, they're really showing you how they feel about you. You know what I mean? So for Saturday Night Live to have an impression of me and have a woman do that means they think I'm a bitch. And I understand that that's what they're saying when they do that. I understand how the game goes, and I understand that if you love me, I know why you do. And if you don't with me, I understand why.
As for Malcolm, he was talented. Now back to Malcolm. He was talented, professional, brilliant. But Hollywood didn't know what to do with a man who refused to perform. And honestly, Malcolm didn't care. He didn't need their validation. He started his own podcast, Not All Hood, and he called out the media. He said straight up, black people aren't a monolith. Stop putting us in one box.
For the title is combating the narrative of black life, black culture that the media focuses on. And
that we're all one thing.
Yeah, and the whole concept is, we're not all hood. The black community is not a monolith.
But instead of giving in to Hollywood's demands, Malcolm chose projects that focused on social justice and education, like producing and acting in plays and documentaries about black history. Instead of selling out, Malcolm did projects that mattered. Stuff about social justice, education, black history. He made plays, documentaries, real work. In 2021, he even wrote an op-ed for the Television Academy. And what did he say? He dragged the whole system. He said, white executives, white writers, white directors, they control how black people are shown on TV. And even when black creatives do get a say, the stereotypes still show up. Even if the characters wear suits or live in mansions, the scripts still feed into the same tired garbage.
There should be a moratorium on both of those words in hip-hop because it's low-lying fruit, it's so easy, everybody fucking does it, to the point that it's corny. Like there are MCs who I love, who I cannot listen to anymore because I love J. Cole. But I had to stop listening to J. Cole because I got tired of hearing nigga and bitch
as much
every 2 sentences because he's proven himself to be such a incredible lyricist
that you think it's if you think it's just too low-hanging fruit for him to use those words.
I feel like
And when it came to hip-hop, Malcolm didn't hold back. He criticized the misogyny, the toxic masculinity. He wanted more healing, more accountability, more depth in the culture. Remember that whole Kendrick versus Drake beef that blew up? Malcolm called it out, said hip-hop only gets attention when it's tearing someone down.
Which, you know, they talk about how much they hate each other and give all these references to violence and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think, even though we enjoy those songs and they're bops, do you think that has a detrimental impact upon the culture ultimately?
Ultimately, yes. It's been normalized for, you know, us to call ourselves the N-word, right? And we like to talk about how we've taken the power of that word back. But I'm of the school of thought. If I'm trying to speak love and upliftment to my brother, why am I going to borrow a word from people who use the word because they hate me? But we get caught up in, oh, well, we're turning the N-word into a positive. But our music is not reflecting positivity, love, and upliftment of our culture. And we're at a point now where so much of our, especially our music, so much of our black music, when you strip away the music and just listen to the lyrics, so much of our black music is really anti-black.
Oh, you think so?
When you think about it, think of, you know, I mean, you almost cannot have hip hop without talking about drugs, using the N-word, and murking somebody.
Right.
You know, or calling a female, you know, a bitch or a hoe. Like that's become such we've normalized that so much that I think we need a space where we can say, wait a minute, wait, that's not all who we are.
And this is what Katt's been saying. The system only supports you when they control your image. Malcolm didn't want to be some sidekick or token. He wanted to represent real people, real issues. He could have been more famous, but it would have cost him his soul. Meanwhile, other black actors blew up during that same time by leaning hard into the stereotypes. They played the game, and hey, good for them if it worked. But Malcolm wasn't about that life, and it cost him. Even his team told him, you're too serious, too smart, not marketable. Basically, you're too black, too real. So they stopped calling. And that lines up perfectly with what Katt has always said. If you won't go along with the humiliation rituals, they erase you. And now that Malcolm is gone, suddenly everybody's showing love, tributes, articles, think pieces, all this legend talk. Like, where was this energy when he was alive and doing all that powerful work? Hollywood and the media? Oh, now they can't stop posting about him. Streaming platforms are out here digging up unreleased projects. Networks are pushing tributes. Actors are posting long emotional captions. It's like, all of a sudden, Malcolm's the perfect icon, the safe one, the one they're proud to claim. But y'all, this is the playbook. This is how the industry operates. They don't honor you for being real while you're alive. They wait. They wait until it's safe, until you can't speak for yourself anymore. And then they swoop in and repackage your image to fit their narrative. They turn your legacy into branding and woke points. It's disgusting. And you know who saw this coming a mile away? Katt Williams. So now, what do we do with all this? We honor him, but not just with hashtags and tributes. We honor him by telling the truth. We tell the full story. Not just the shiny parts that make the media look good. We talk about how he was pushed to the margins because he was honest, because he refused to play the fool, because he wanted more for black representation. And we keep calling out the system that continues to do this. To Malcolm, to Katt, to so many others who don't fall in line. Malcolm-Jamal Warner lived with strength and purpose. And yeah, his life was cut short, but he won. He didn't compromise. He didn't fold. He lived his truth, not the version Hollywood tried to force on him. His death is more than a tragedy. It's a spotlight on how fake the industry really is, and a warning to anyone else thinking they can rise without submitting. Be ready. They don't love you for being strong. They love you when you're silent. So what do y'all think? Was Malcolm blackballed for not selling out? Why is the system so quick to forget the ones who stay true until it's too late? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it. And rest in peace, Malcolm. You were too real for them. And we see you now. I'll catch y'all in the next video.